Assalamu alaikum everybody, and welcome back to Let's Level Every Class, the World of Warcraft War Within series, Episode 9. Episode 9 featuring our ram-horned, blue-eyed devil, demon gal, Draenei Shaman Morame. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Top right corner of the screen is going to be a playlist card that'll take you directly to Morame's leveling journey in her individual campaign if this is your very first episode tuning in. And throughout the video, do keep an eye on the top right corner of the screen because there will be many other cards popping up which will take you directly to other characters and their respective leveling journeys. We currently have Human Warrior Malakiel, Blood Elf Paladin Valera, Void Elf Monk Novizaru, and many more characters and their journeys yet to come. Thank y'all. Shukran, as always. Y'all, this is episode 9. It seems like a character's leveling journey truthfully develops over time and things really go very quickly. Like, it's really hard for me to just grasp that this is already episode 9, you know? It's crazy, but we are back in Desolace. I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and skip doing any dungeons in this episode because I really want to focus on completing the remaining portions of Desolace, showcasing what it has to offer, because it's been really surprising to me. Like, it's been a very comfortable and cool experience to revisit Desolace and just like the simplified questing and everything else. But I did tell y'all, we're going to go back and take care of the centaurs. We're absolutely going to finish the Khan's request to unite the tribes. And I'm thinking we're also going to go ahead and tackle whatever quests we have on the north end of this peninsula, so to speak. But y'all, real quick, did y'all see everything that's coming at midnight? Did y'all see all of that? Yo. The younger me would be ecstatic, like completely ecstatic to know that we're going back to Quel'Thalas. Like we're going back to Quel'Thalas. We are going back to a revamped, remodeled Silvermoon City. It's going to be incredible to see the areas such as like Murder Row, the Palace, the Fountains, the Bazaar. It's like, whoa, I'm super excited. Blood Elf family, we are eating good. We are going to be eating very good next year. And it just so happened to land on my favorite month of the year, which also happens to be, for me, a very late birthday gift. So I think that's going to be awesome. And Legion remix. I mean, I didn't play when Legion was around, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure many of my veteran family here is going to be as well. There's just so much World of Warcraft coming, y'all. So much good stuff coming. I mean, just the void, you gotta give Blizzard's animation crew their just dues because they have come up with banger after banger of cinematic experiences. Just they're second to none. They are without peer, as High Lord Brother Oklahoma would say. It's so cool. But how's y'all's journey in Azeroth going? I hope Azeroth, whichever version of the game you're currently playing, is treating you just as well. I'm having a blast, always have been, always will be. But definitely looking forward to starting the next character. She's going to be coming up here pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. Planning out my next, the next gals, the next series of daughters to do their leveling journey and whatnot. I actually just recently had a pretty cool conversation with another compadre who's a big WoW head. He wasn't playing when Classic and TBC came out. His first expansion that when he started playing was Miss Pandaria. But we had a very interesting conversation that I thought I'd share. So I'm pretty big into D&D. Well, I'm not big into D&D. I used to be, and then I kind of just stopped because I just don't have the time to commit to it, to meetups and such as much as I would like to. But we had a very good, interesting conversation about like a tabletop conversation of, let's hypothetically say, the World of Warcraft the world of World of Warcraft stopped in the Burning Crusade. The Scourge and the Lich King still existed, but for the purpose of this conversation, we're going to just imagine that the Burning Crusade is where it stopped. So Draenei exist and Blood Elves are both, like, they both exist. They're both in play, right? So, I didn't realize there was an escort quest over here. That's new. You know, I don't recall there being an escort quest in Desolace. That's interesting. So, with that being said, the baseline is we're in TBC. If you were commanding a specific faction, if you were a commander in the war, how would you have taken over? How would you have conquested? How would you have taken over and put the Horde or the Alliance in a better position of success for the war? Like, how would you have done it? And obviously, he went and represented the Alliance. I decided to represent the Horde, obviously. So my perspective was, okay, so as an Alliance player, as an Alliance mindset commander in warfare, you're going to try to take the Undercity because you have a majority of your resources are on the Eastern continent, not so much the Western continent, whereas in the Horde, it's the reverse. The Blood Elves are in play here. So I sat there and I said, okay, so Silvermoon is on the north end, which means I can afford a little bit of time and I have a little bit of leeway because there's some sanctuary that we can bolster and some strongholds and whatnot on the lower portion of the kingdoms. The biggest chokehold we're probably going to have is the dwarves and the gnomes. We're not going to take over their region. It's too convoluted. It's too fortified. We're not even going to bother trying to take them and then work our way down to Stormwind. It's just not going to happen. We may get into some naval confrontations with the Alliance, but those are probably going to be few and far between. My thing is, let's cut them at the ports. Two key areas I was focusing on in my argument was, let's take Dustswallow Marsh, because I want access to that the south major city that I think it got bombed in Battle for Azeroth, if I'm not mistaken. That major port city, we're taking it. And how would I do that? Well, Dustswallow Marsh, it's more of a neutral zone, yes, but the Horde definitely have a little bit of a stronger presence. However, I'm not going to rely on confrontation to win. I'm not going to rely on skirmish and confrontations because that's going to be in Hillsbrad foothills. That's going to be in, maybe we'll expend some resources in Tenaris and such. But we have to be strategic. So my thing is, I'm going to send my best alchemists and I'm going to transport them, as quickly and as safely as we possibly can. It's going to take probably a month or so, but I'm going to get them over to Kalimdor because I want the researching to go over in Mulgore. Part of it's going to be in the Undercity, part of it's going to be in Mulgore. And I want that because I want the quickest access that we can get to a prototype and a finalized version of the Plague Bomb. I want two. So basically going after an atomic bomb, essentially. And the way we would accomplish this is the beginning research is going to be in the Undercity, but the main finishing touches are going to be in Mulgore, because Mulgore is incredibly difficult for the Alliance to try to take. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult. So having that little safe barrier and pretty much a good portion of the area around Mulgore. Dude, that was an easy escort. I'll take it. I'm not going to complain here. I'll take it where I can get it. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna send our researchers to Mulgore to finalize the versions. I want I want one prototype and then I want the real deal. And we're gonna use them in two choke points. The prototype is gonna be used down in Dustswallow Marsh, and here's why. I want that port. I want one of the major ports for the Alliance to be cut off. I want access to that. I want them to feel like they're encroaching into our space. I want them to gain as much territory as they may feel like they can in Dustswallow Marsh, which basically, in a sense, is going to trap them because it's a rough terrain. So we're going to make them think they're winning. We're going to use the prototype there, test it out, see how the results are. After that, we're going to actually use the main one, probably in Hillsbrad, and here's why. I understand that the Scarlet Crusade is still in play and they still exist. I don't expect them to get a pack with the Alliance. I just don't see that happening. while it's certainly feasible, because the Scarlet's going to want to try to take the Undercity just as hard as anybody in the Alliance side would. But I don't necessarily see it as being plausible, especially because of the whole, just the politics of it. So Scarlet's probably going to do their own little thing. Plus, let's say if the people of Stormwind itself are currently, hey, no war, no this, no that, well, that gives Van Cleef at the time, if he's still in play, that kind of gives the Van Cleef and the oh my goodness, his crew, it gives them a little bit of an influence on the inside. So I'm thinking, we could see a political uprising in Stormwind. You don't have to expend all your resources in skirmishes and conflicts. We can not take Stormwind, but we can certainly knock it off balance. You know what I mean? So that was my whole argument. And he had some pretty good counterpoints to that, but I ultimately think that the Eastern and the Eastern Kingdom would definitely have been cut in half, simply because there's no way we're going to take, as a Horde, we're not taking Stranglethorn Val, we're not taking Booty Bay. The Alliance have more of a presence there, and it just makes sense that they're going to play politics with the Goblins, and they're going to be like, hey, we need Booty Bay. And they're going to be like, well, the Goblins could be like, well, you can't really have it. And they're like, okay, how much? At this point, it's, no, you don't understand. We're taking this, whether you want it or not. So either you join us or problems.
What's up? Keep it real.
So I definitely think in terms of natural resources and whatnot, I think STV would definitely be a little bit of a key thing. But I mean, for the Horde, we have the Barons. We'll take Ratchet. We'll gain that port access, and we'll also go ahead and take that fortified fortress that's over there too. But I want Hillsbrad as well. Hillsbrad would definitely be one of my main go-tos if I was commanding the war. It's probably one of the first places I'm going to take is Hillsbrad, and I will expend as many resources as I possibly can. But ultimately, I think it was a very good conversation. I think it was just an awesome nerd out type of topic. I'd be very curious for y'all's, how would y'all do it if you were a commander of the Alliance of the Horde? What's one of the first places you're going to go for? Obviously, most are probably going to say, I'm going to go for the Undercity. Do you think you could go to Orgrimmar and try to take that region over? Because that's the other thing. Like Ashenvale would be a very big weak point for the Alliance, for the Night Elves specifically. They're kind of out there by themselves for the most part. I think for the Alliance, y'all's wild card would be the Draenei. Especially with the amount of technology and everything, even though they definitely play more into the spiritual respect, life in all forms and whatnot. I definitely think that the Draenei would be the biggest wild card and probably the saving grace. But ultimately, I think we pretty much would take the Horde. Definitely would take the north end of the entirety of the Eastern Kingdom for that continent. I don't know. That's just the way I'm seeing it. But if y'all are enjoying the content, maybe consider tossing this video a like, giving it a comment if you found this topic very, very interesting, and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. Like these amazing people, Bele, Slashi, Noise, Kiam, Cassio, Rui, all of y'all, thank y'all so much for the support, for the channel, for the Let's Leveling series, for everything since the inception of the channel. It's been a wonderful journey. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't having fun. And y'all are making this experience for me incredibly, incredibly fun. I hope all of y'all's time is incredibly important and incredibly valuable. And I really want to try to improve. If I can make incrementally improve video by video, that I think I'm doing pretty good. But I'm still having fun. I'm still going to continue to have fun. I hope y'all are having just as much fun as I am with the Let's Level series as a whole. But thank y'all so much. Only consider subscribing, however, if I've earned it. If I haven't earned it yet, no worries. I'm going to continue to work hard until I do. Shukran. Shukran. Thank you. Dude, I wish we saw more of these demon dudes. the big guys. Like, I really wish we saw more of them. Oh, there's everybody's favorite. Like, here's the thing, we're just wrecking everything. Like, this conflict, I was expecting a lot, like, we're basically just shock trooping these guys. We're just shock troopers right now. And I'm perfectly cool with that for the con. Like, I'm perfectly cool with that. The problem is, I was expecting a lot more build up. You know, I was expecting way more build up to what should be a huge thing, you know, but here we are. I mean, literally, I'm just running up to these orcs and just poking, like they are. They're just charging in, poking with a spear, and being done with it. Like, they're calling it a day. Like, they want to go home. You know, they're just like, all right, we're done with this stuff. Yeah, we're just totally reeling these guys and gals. All right, Khan, we've eliminated quite a bit of their forces. I mean, not really. I feel like we barely made a dent, but I mean, they're not really challenging us. Defeat I could not pronounce that, dude. Agradon, we're just going to go ahead and call him that. All right. Their main baddie. Looks like he's further up the mountain. It's not a problem. We'll go ahead and take care of him and poke our way to victory. Poke. There you go. Shoutouts to the Centaur family. That was the other thing in the Midnight trailer. That was the other thing. I noticed on the forums a lot of the community was talking about, we're never going to get ogres. Why are we getting another elf? And all that. And I'm cool with another elf. But even I found it to be a little interesting. Like, we just introduced these elves in the War Within, to my knowledge. We just introduced these things. And pretty much we could have gone with a few other different options. Like, even if ogres weren't on the table, there's the centaurs. I think the centaurs definitely could use as a playable race. I think that would be very different. Definitely different. I think transmogs for like a centaur character would be interesting to see. So I'm kind of surprised we don't have them. And I'm even more surprised that we didn't go with like, you know, we just... So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think there's better options. I think there was definitely a few better options, but here we go. Agrogridon. Dude, he took a lot of damage. What? You know, I mean, at least we can get a cheer animation in. That's pretty cool. All right, Khan. I think we've done the Lord's work here. We definitely have we've attained level 65, so that's pretty cool. Wait. He's running. No. Hold on. Let's get the quest. Okay. Wilds of Feralis. Ooh, okay. So it's pivoting me. They're trying to pivot me into going into Feralis, but we're not going to do that on Morame. We're just, I'm going to say Feralis for a different character because we're closing in on that last home stretch where we're just going to basically be doing a lot of time walking dungeons and whatnot. I'm very excited for that because there's going to be a lot of high stress moments, a lot of dungeons that I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm very excited for that, but let's go back for a second because I think that was very interesting. Here's a pet peeve of mine specifically for oh goodness, I probably should have watched my probably should have been a little bit more careful because now I'm getting whacked by the old bone bros, zombie bros. Gosh darn it. You know, all that build up, you know what I mean? Like all that build up from you trying to unite the tribes and go to war and do all that stuff and everything, and it led up to that. Like we ran up to him and just poked him. That's one thing I would like to see more. Hopefully when Midnight comes out is a lot. And I think definitely with the new prey system that's coming out, that's something I'm definitely going to take a keen interest on. But I would like to see more world quests that actually have some difficulty to them. And listen, hey, you don't have to make it too difficult, but I definitely would like to see just a little bit more in the difficulty curve for some world questing. Old world quests, it's fine the way it is. Even though that was kind of funny. We basically 3-shotted the guy. Like he stood 0 chance. And like I said, it's a lot of buildup. It's interesting to do all those fetch quests, all that stuff, and you're doing it in the quest. Like you're getting interested in deep. You're getting more and more like involved in the quest line and such. Like I was actually very interested back in the day, where if you asked a younger me, hey, what do you think about doing the Centaur quest in Desolace? I would have told you, I think it's crud. I think it's a time waste, honestly. Here, I felt like I was actually invested into the storyline. I really wanted to see what was happening. And then we get to the finale, and the finale is like a 2-second thing. And then you're just kind of standing there like with your hands in the air, like shrugging, like, I don't know. It kind of felt interesting. I don't know. I mean, what do you want, you know? So that's one thing I definitely want to see, hopefully, changed in Midnight. I'm not trying to say it was lame, because it wasn't lame. I still felt like I achieved something. I definitely got a lot more out of it, especially what I really, really enjoy with Chromie time and whatnot is just the simplification of the quests. Well, he didn't obviously make it his pilgrimage. He obviously didn't. He wasn't very cash money going into this. Dude, yeah. Come on, you're like a solo priest and you're walking into a whole graveyard of undead. Like, it's not very cash money of you, man. I'm sorry. It's just not very cash money of you, as the kids would say these days. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I feel like I accomplished something. I'm interested to see, because at this point I feel like the only thing now outside of completing this quest is heading up to the north end of Desolace and probably, didn't mean to do that, is head up to the north end and take over the strongholds of where the orc rogue faction, the warlocks over there on the north end. And then I think we're pretty much done. Which is nice. Which is very nice. I'm excited for Midnight. I hope y'all are too, dude. Player housing is gonna be sick. I said it before a while ago. I think it was in Malakiel's leveling campaign. So I'm gonna say it here. Y'all, the Warcraft family was overdue for player housing. You know, we were spoiled in 14. We didn't have any in 11. I don't think we ever will. But in 14, we were spoiled with that. We were totally spoiled with that. Outside of back in the day, you know, getting a plot to get the home was a end game in of itself. So I think as the news hit, it's going to be public and private lots in WoW, which I think is a great idea if they have the server space for it, which I'm sure they do. I think it's going to be a great idea, because you can have one for the guild and then you can have one for you and such, like a personal player housing and whatnot. Personally, I'm going to try to have... Okay, hold on. I think I got this. As these centaur ghosts, these centaur spears are molly-whopping me right now. Get some chain lightning in, get some acid rain. Dude, this is an endurance quest. A freaking endurance quest, man. Oh, goodness. The last time I did an endurance quest was back in Classic, and that one was not fun. For any of my veteran WoW players, I'm sure you remember a specific, very specific endurance quest in Thousand Needles that involved going into a cave and fighting those harpies. If y'all know what I mean. If you know, you know. That was probably one of the worst design ones ever. I will never do that again as long as I exist. Or at least I'm hoping I'll never have to do it again. God, an endurance run on a shaman. Can I do it? I'm surprised I'm even surviving this long. It's all about putting that acid rain down, that healing rain, chain lightning, and just keep myself healed. Get some fireballs or whatever I can out, some lightning bolt ASMR, and we'll be good to go. I'm honestly really, really shocked that that pushback is not aggroing the skeletons. That was a little bit of point of concern. If I had to deal with the skeletons, and thankfully it doesn't look like any of these spirits are spellcasters or the spellcaster types, but if they were, I think I'd be in a lot more dangerous position, a lot more of a dangerous position. This takes me back though a little bit because it reminds me when I think it was like episode 8 or 9 of Malakiel's leveling journey, and we were in the Duskwood area, and I had to go. No, I think it was episode 10 actually, and I had to go into the crypts to get the necromancer dude, and I had that like 4 times getting to him because everything was exactly to Malakiel's level. You know, it's Chromie time, right? But you know, it was a kind of a major oversight because there was no way I was getting around the absolute hordes of undead. So that was kind of a funny way to start that episode, man. That was something. That was something.
Talk to me. Hurry back. Keep it real.
Thunder Axe Fortress. We're definitely going to be going in there. I'm definitely going to have to be making a pit stop, but the quest is apparently up here. So I wonder... Alright, so the Alliance, y'all come from the north end, huh? Rerouted. Janky. That's kind of an unfortunate name. Corporal Melkins. Well, I mean, at least she's got a griffin, so she's pretty much the scout, it looks like. Looks like she's the scout of the team. Oh, wait a minute, that's Night Elf stuff. Oh, no, tell me this is going to end up being more fetch quests. I was just hoping. No. Corporal? Sir? Captain? Oh, no. I'm kind of dreading. I see the Night Elf architecture, and I'm thinking I'm going to be doing a little bit more fetch questing. I was hoping we were just going to go to Thunder Axe Fortress and get the job done on the big baddie that's over there, but I think we're just going to have to go sidetracking a little bit.
I assist you.
Varal Demon Slayer. Pleasure to meet you as well, good sir. Leon's gifts. Pray for your inspires.
Goodbye.
Okay, we're visiting. Oh, dude, tell me I'm going to be fighting satyrs. Don't tell me I'm going to be fighting satyrs again. I hate satyrs, dude. No, we're going to be, yeah, but satyrs. I bet you anything I'm going to end up doing a fetch quest here too. There's got to be a follow-up. It's never that easy, family. It's never that easy. Oh, dang it. All right, so out of all the mobs in World of Warcraft, satyrs, I hate. I absolutely despise satyrs. More so than murlocs, believe it or not. Murlocs annoy me, but satyrs are infinitely worse. 10-pound flesh collect. Dang it, man. All right, so we got the spellcasting types, we've got the hunter types, which I think are the purple dudes, and then I clearly have the invis guys, so that's my rogues. So it looks like I'm gonna have to be a little bit cautious about my polos here. Polos, for those of you that don't know, is just a term we use, points of likely opposition. So where am I most likely to get confronted? Dang it, man. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to do more fetch questing, but here we are. Not the biggest thing in the world. But these are ruins, and I don't remember Night Elves having ruins in Desolace, so unless they came here sometime before the Cataclysm hit. Well, no, because we're doing, well, maybe. Was there like a settlement of Night Elves here? Because I would suck to find out that the satyrs came here at some point and completely obliterated the Night Elves. That would really, really be kind of cruddy, if you know what I mean. Kind of unfortunate. Yep. All right, so the red guys are, well, the maroon, fuchsia. Let's just go ahead and call them hot pink. The hot pink satyrs over here, hunter types, rogues. I hate satyrs, dude. I hate satyrs. Yeah, these skulls that are on the ground next to the spears, they're not just for recent decorations. I doubt the satyrs, these guys came all the way from Bloodmist Isle, packed all their stuff on mules and decided, hey, let's go to Desolace and just, put up shop, you know what I mean? Just to, warn off all the alliance here. I think those skull and bones are a little bit recent, at least from what it's looking like. I could be wrong. And stealing magic. The only people that can steal magic and make it look good are blood elves. So get out of here, dude. Hate Fury, Fellsworn. Haters. Something about these guys. I think they disgust me more than the Scourge. Like, I actually think I would honestly prefer fighting the Scourge versus fighting satyrs. I hate these things. Ooh, you saw that? The little fairy-looking things? The dudes look, the little fairy-looking things. For that split second, look like, what was that fairy that would go around? Legend of Zelda. On the 64. What was her name? Little fairy flew around. Gosh, that takes me back. I used to watch my old man play Zelda games. Zelda's like his favorite. Zelda and Assassin's Creed is his favorite, but he was a big RPG guy. He was a huge RPG guy. And I remember just watching, like, we would play games and whatnot all the time. Like, I'd play like Madden NFL with him and such, just for fun. Anytime he wasn't working, and Lord knows he worked. Thank goodness he's going to be retired here pretty soon. He's really earned it. He really has earned it. But he's a gamer, and we would play games all the time. Like, all the time. I remember, like, nights that he did have off, he'd spend at least an hour playing, like, Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, or Zelda. If a new Zelda game came out, he had to play it. And I remember just watching, growing up as a kid, and him playing, like, Legend of the Twilight Princess. Like, I remember him playing, like, Zelda on the Wii and such. Memories like that hit me harder now as I'm an adult, and I'm in my 30s at this point. So it's like those little memories that I have with him mean the world to me. And I'm thankful he's still around, even though I'm 14 hours away from my own family and everyone back on the farm, as we call it, a few states away. I miss him. I miss my family dearly, but just memories like that, and there's a lot. I think as a teenager, it's interesting because we don't like appreciate a lot of what our folks do until we're in their shoes at some point. Like everything my old man warned me about in terms of going into becoming a first responder and how it's not what it used to be and everything else. Like I still enjoy what I do, but what a lot of what he said is very true. In terms of when he went on, and now I'm walking in his boots, and I'm realizing, like as a man, I can't fill his shoes. Like I can't. Even though I'm a father and everything, there's no way I can fill his shoes. Like, there's no way I can fill his shoes. And I think it's interesting and it's fascinating because we're never as good as our parents. We're never as good as we once. What's that country song? I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good as I ever was. I can't remember who sang that. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm not much into country music, but that song hits me every now and then. I just think about it. I think about all the good times I had growing up and everything that, all the stuff that, my mom worked for, my old man worked for. They really busted their hump for everything. Again, blue collar. Like, I come from generations of blue collars. There's some white collar in my family, and my old man's side of the family. Very wealthy individuals, but I mean, very down to earth too. But I'm country boy, blue collar, and all that. And you grow up and you miss that time. You're like, now I want to spend time with my family more than anything. I want to spend time with my old man more than anything. Because I'm like, for as much as I was an arrogant SOB, you were right about a lot of things. And he's going to be like, yep, told you so. That's how it goes. You're supposed to find out a lot on your own because, then you'll come back and I'll be like, yeah, I know I was right. Like, you son of a gun. So we're definitely going to have a jump cut somewhere in this vid because this took me quite a while to do. I did have a few breaks and everything, so a little bit of clever editing will be somewhere in this episode, y'all. My apologies, but yeah, there was a lot more. It took me a while. Let's just say that. It took me a while to get this quest done. But I'm accompanied now because I completely forgot I can summon an elemental. Shows you how good of a shaman I am. Elemental bro over here. I use bro for so many things, and obviously some night elves, spirits and whatnot, which again, I'm hoping this is an ancient civilization and not recent. But if it's recent, that's incredibly unfortunate. A group, the pack of night elves get wrecked by a group of satyrs. It's happened, but hope that's not the case. All right, Mr. Demon Slayer, here you go, dude. Nice hair, by the way. Level 66. All right, Captain. You serve, but I actually work, so let's go ahead and take care of all the little shenanigans you got, because realistically, I don't really pay much attention to what you have to say. I do, however, pay every single bit of attention to what my sergeant has to say. That's just how it works. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but if you know, you know. Anybody with railroad tracks, you just sit there and go, yeah, But the moment your sergeant comes in, it's like, yeah, what do you need, Sarge? Like the level of respect we do for our sergeants, man. All right, let's go ahead and tackle this. Dude, this is funny. They're not even helping this guy. Kohor, you are by yourself, good sir. Sorry to drop in on you like that, but sorry, buddy. You gotta go. You gotta go, eh? I love how nobody's helping this guy. Summon your doom. Nah, please. I've been married to the same woman for 11 years. If I'm not deceased yet, I'd say I'm doing a pretty good job. For all my fellow married men out there, You get it. For my single brethren out there, if you're not married yet, seriously, take your time. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but you start to joke like this the longer you're in marriage, like, the longer you're in it, you start to just joke and whatnot. And that's just it's all in good faith, love, and respect, you know. But it's pretty funny. I've been married to the same woman for 11 years, man. You think I fear anything at this point? No. Shoot. Oh, I hate being disoriented. I gotta get to that chest in the middle real quick. These burning blades ain't doing nothing for me. Oh, disorientated again. Goodness, and he got me from behind. Dude, I don't appreciate that. Take 2 fireballs to the face for all your troubles, good sir. Alright, let's get a heal in. Let's get that chest. Okay. That was a very awkward stare down. Did anybody else see that? That was a very, very awkward stare down. Like, he turned over to me and he was just like, he like froze, deer in the headlights moment. Is he gonna move or am I gonna move? It's pretty funny. Level 67 team, Bismillah. I think we're at a good point. I'm gonna go ahead and call this for the episode for here. Next episode, we're going to hit up dungeon raiding. I'm gonna take care of the remaining quests off screen. If there's anything important, I'll definitely add it into the video. But I think this has been a pretty good summarization of Desolace as a whole. And I don't want to bore y'all too much with just the little nonchalant stuff. Again, if it's relevant, I'll throw it in. If it's not, don't worry about it. We're not missing out on much, family. But let's go ahead and call it here. Get some rested XP, and then next episode, y'all, hopefully series finale, and we're going right after dungeons. We're gonna throw ourselves into the fire. We're going to go into some pretty high stress situations, and we're gonna make the last 10 levels incredibly, incredibly fun and one to remember. Let's go out with a bang, family. But take care. Until that point, take care. Have a wonderful work week. I'll catch y'all soon.